Today I'll be demonstrating how to clean the sensor of Pentax K1. It's a full frame sensor size. Therefore, I'll be using 1.0x or 24mm swab size from visible dust. Prior to sensor cleaning, make sure you read the manual and the battery is fully charged and you take all precautionary recommendation by manufacturer. Also recommend wearing a prescription glasses or safety glasses and also a surgical mask which you can find in from local pharmacy. This is something very essential because when you look through the sensor and you get nervous, you start breathing faster and you start creating some microscopic droplets of saliva which eventually ends up on the sensor. So when you do the sensor cleaning, some spot magically appears and giving you impression the sensor wasn't clean or the spot was there prior to sensor cleaning, which is not the case. So I'm going to wear this mask and start sounding funny, and therefore sometimes I will grasp for air. I apologize for that. So visible dust has three different cleaning liquid. One is alcohol based with blue cap called Vswab. The other two are water based cleaning liquid. One is Sensor Clean with green cap, regular strength, is a general purpose cleaning, and the other one is a smear wave, which is the extra strength water based cleaning liquid as well. So what are the difference between alcohol and water-based cleaning liquids, you may ask? Let's get it started. With alcohol, it is excellent liquid, evaporates fast. It doesn't create oversaturation, it's easy to do, and therefore is the first choice for many people. However, there are some disadvantages to alcohol cleaning. First of all, alcohol removes water. That's why they add to gasoline tank in wintertime to absorb extra water. So when you remove the water, you increase the static charge buildup. So it's the same thing on the sensor. So after cleaning with alcohol, your sensor becomes magnetized. It attracts even more dust than before, because the static charge buildup has increased. Another disadvantage of alcohol is not good cleaning. As a matter of fact, it's very poor cleaning liquid for saliva. Not only doesn't remove saliva, which is mostly stain are made of, it fixes saliva on the sensor. So in this case, we have to resort to water-based cleaning, such as Sensor Clean or Smear Wave. Sensor Clean and Smear Wave both are water-based. Water-based, they evaporate slower than alcohol. Therefore, a slight oversaturation on the swab, you create streaks on the sensor. The reason is, when there is too much liquid on the swab loses its capacity to reabsorb the liquid which is left on the sensor. So therefore, the liquid on the sensor dries out, basically giving appearance of streaks. So there are two remedies for this. A, after depositing liquid on your swab, make sure that there's enough time has passed for evaporation or calibration, depending on your environment, to take place. Never use dry swab, but use drier than usual if you get oversaturation problem. Another way to remedy this problem is to use another swab ready with Vswab with alcohol. When you have saturation or a streak on the sensor, right away use Vswab with the new swab and remove the streaks. That's another way of removing the streaks. In any case, the advantages of water-based are that they are removing static charge buildup, therefore your sensor becomes less magnetic to attract dust after sensor cleaning. Also, they dissolve protein or saliva readily, therefore you have no problem of removing saliva stain from the sensor, whereas you cannot do it with alcohol. Also, Visible Dust has two different swabs. One is orange in the left. It has a very thin fabric. It's excellent. Manufacturer says that it's used for high quality optical cleaning, but only compatible with alcohol-based cleaning such as VDust Plus. So if you use this with water-based, you end up streaking the sensor. The Green or Ultra MXD 100 is compatible with all three cleaning solutions. It's a little bit thicker, but it's excellent cleaning fabric. So let's get started. Visible Dust has a new tool called Curve Swab handle. It's a curvature cavity which you insert the swab inside, and the swab becomes a sort of, when you go on the sensor, it has a perpendicular shape or positions on the sensor at all time. Therefore, it preserves its 90-degree angle on the sensor at all times. So you avoid those transitional vertical lines which is usually seen with the flexible swab handle. And so that becomes an excellent tool and gives a professional look into sensor cleaning. It makes it a lot easier because dexterity of the movement becomes consistent. Another device that I'll be demonstrating today is Swab Light, which also has a cavity inside that you can insert the swab all the way, and it has a light. It gives a good dexterity, and because we have projector light, so if we turn that off, we can see even there's ambient light in a room, therefore the sensor is not quite dark, but you can see with the swab light you can lit up the sensor and you can see the edge-to-edge cleaning quite nicely. So it's a very effective device for DSLR. Let's get it started. Also, we'll be using corner swab, which is another excellent swab, which is a smaller swab to clean the edges. So we're going to start with the sensor clean. We insert our swab into curve swab handle. So I'll usually add 2 or 3 drops depending on drop. Make sure visually you can see the swab is fully saturated. Allow about 15 seconds. It can go up to a minute depending on your environment, how dry your environment is. Go horizontally. This camera has IS on the sensor, therefore it's a little bit shaky. Don't worry, but don't press it too hard. Gently go along one edges. Just press slightly and roll over. Using the curve swab makes it a lot easier because it rolls over quite nicely, so you don't have to apply pressure on the sensor. If you want to go second time, make sure you take the swab out, you rotate it 180 degrees and you use the opposite side. So when you go on the opposite edge, you press along the edges. So in this case, if let's say there's a line out there in the edges, so you can use corner swab. The way you use corner swab, you just put 1 drop of liquid on the swab, and then you go along the edges and basically you remove the last line which was made by regular swab. So you just don't want to use a regular swab again if you have a hard time getting to edges. Another device that we'll be using is swab light. Let's say you turn the ambient light, the projection light off, and you can see there's ambient light inside the room, so you add again 2 drops of liquid. You allow about 15-second minimum time for saturation to take place. The swab light can be adjusted to be turned on, becoming spotlight or spread light. So you go horizontal way again. You go from one edge and you basically move to the opposite edge. And you press against the last edge and you take the swab out in horizontal fashion. If you want to go again, you just basically take the swab out, rotate it 180 degrees and reinsert it back. So if you had basically done swabbing, you can inspect it at any time using Quasar from Visible Dust, Quasar Plus in this case. And therefore, if the sensor is clean, you stop right there. Good luck with your sensor cleaning. Thank you.